Hey, visionaries! You are now tuned in to the Starts with a Vision podcast, where everything you do in life starts with a vision. If your vision is clear or foggy, you are in the right place. It's time to go take what's yours, because there's a vision only you can see, and a dream only you can dream. And now, your host, Mr. Starts with a Vision.
What up, guys? This is Isaiah Fowler, aka Mr. SWAV. Mr. Starts with a Vision, and I'm not gonna hold you guys up. This week it's kind of like a alumni week, if you will. We have two guests on the show today and on Thursday who were on the show previously, but they have grown so much, and there's so much that has happened, and also these two episodes were very, very popular, highly downloaded, top 3 of all the podcasts, in the of the past year and a half. So, with that being said, guys, check it out. This episode and on Thursday's episode are dope, super dope. Today's guest is Quincy, okay? So, Quicy Hall. So, let me tell you, he started a cell phone company, cell phone repair shop, but he did it all out of his house, and he started in college, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And when we interviewed him, he was still doing it out of his house, but he was making money. He's grown so much to the point where he got a location, and so many other things have happened. Invested in his studio, did his first year for his scholarship and everything. So I really, really, really wanted to get him back on the podcast and share with his growth so that you guys could see that this entrepreneurship thing is real, man. And we are always on the hunt to be better, to be better, to be better. So check it out, check it out, check it out. Today's episode is dope. It's with Quicy Hall. Yo, visionaries, what's going on? This is Isaiah Fowler, a.k.a. Mr. Starts with Vision. And I want to say that this is going to be a very dope episode because we have Quicy Hall on the line today. And he was actually a previous guest. He was on episode 153. So if you have not heard about Quincy or heard his interview yet, I want you to go listen to episode 153 because that's more like the introduction to him. And this was about 8 months ago, right? So we keep in contact. And he was like, man, it's been a lot going on. A lot of progression has happened. So we got to talking. I'm like, man, this is a lot of stuff. So, I really wanted to bring him back on the podcast because I wanted to show you guys what entrepreneurship really, really is, right? Like, I want you guys to understand and know that there's, it looks so different to everybody. Everybody's journey is different. And, I just love to highlight people's journeys. So, Quincy, my man, how you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's great to hear from you. How everything going for you?
All is well, man. We over here, we growing. We making this impact on a lot of people, and we're just being consistent with it.
Yeah, that's great, man. It's definitely something I want to be a part of and be affiliated with, man.
Absolutely, man. So I remember last time that we spoke on the internet per se, right? On the interview wise, you had built up a pretty good cell phone repair company, Imprint Customs, and you're doing your thing, and it started out in college, but then growth started happening literally right after the podcast interview. So, ever since then, man, you got your location and you have other things going on, other business ventures and partnerships. So talk about the shop first and foremost. Like you were doing mobile and now you have a brick and mortar location, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So just to build on that, I started it in 2011, right after I graduated, and the goal was just maybe to fix a couple of phones a week, just pay a few bills. But I knew everybody had cell phones, so I knew the potential of the growth. So met a lot of people, built a lot in clientele over the 5 years. And in 2016, I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this out of my apartment, or I can't keep doing it mobile because my family comes into play. Like, I need some kind of establishment. So right around the time we did the interview, I was in the process of looking for a location. And literally maybe a week or two after doing the interview, things fell through with a location downtown. It's Imprint Customs, 41 Walton Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. And everything just fell into place. It was everything that I wanted. Like I said, it was downtown. There's high volume of traffic of people walking by. It's a great neighborhood of small businesses. And everybody, I encourage y'all to come check it out, even if it's just stop by and say, what's up? And that's where we're located at.
Nice, man. So how did you how was the process of actually getting a brick and mortar, and what was the transition like? Did you feel like you had a job when you got the location, or, were you happy and proud? Were you excited, or what was the transition going from just kind of working out of the house and, going to the, actual location? Did you feel more official or what?
Oh, I mean, official. I mean, most definitely. I was very proud to finally have a location that I can tell people to come to and give them set hours and stuff. But the first initial feeling was jitters. It was it's something that you prayed for, it's something that you talked about for months, years, and then for it to finally happen, it's just wow, okay, now this is on my shoulders to keep it going. But kind of how it happened is you just look around for locations, and you just riding around, and you'll see some empty places, and then normally have contact information for you to get in touch with a person to inquire about your spot. So I got a tip that this location was open. I went, got the information, spoke to a few people, and it just so happened that that day the people who own that lease, they had an open house for their company, and invited me to come back to it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to make this happen. And it's just crazy how this whole day happened, because literally I went by my buddy's recording studio, and I'm ready to leave to head to the open house. And my buddy comes in and he's like, man, Q, your car got broken into.
Oh, for
and
real?
I'm like, I'm so serious. And so I'm like, and this wasn't the first time car got broken into 2 years before, but I was just like, man, this something good has to be happening, because you always hit a low before a big bounce back happens. So yeah, car got, they stole all my phone parts of me doing it mobilely and stuff like that, and I just took it for what it was. Hopped in the car, I'm talking about glass still on the seats, rolled to the open house. I met the people, didn't even mention the situation that happened, but everything just flowed. I'm meeting this person, that person. They're asking me about, my business. They're asking me about what's my plans like and everything. And I just had a very good feeling towards the end. And no more than a week later, I got a phone call, had to be the day after New Year's. And the lady said, we want to come give you a congratulations. The spot is yours, and you can come get the key tomorrow and start doing whatever you need to do. So that situation really lit a fire underneath me to go in, spend the whole month of January of just remodeling the whole place. Me and a buddy, we put down all the floors. We did the painting. We did the whole setup, and really just put my last few dollars into this location, because I said, if I can make it work inside of my apartment where people are coming up, dropping off their phones and all that stuff like that, then the location has to work. And so I want to say it was January 28th. We opened the doors, and that first week was a little slow. Even that Tuesday, we didn't have no sales. But after that week, just every week just kept increasing. People knew who we were. We were accountable. We were on time for opening it up, and it just kept growing from there.
Damn, man. So the darkest hour, they say the darkest hour of the night is right before, the sunrise, right? So that happens to you. You go to the open house, busted windows and everything, and then you still are able to present yourself, very, very, you're able to articulate yourself, what you do, your business, eloquently and everything. So how was that like? How important is it to have that confidence even when you're at a low, right? Like you driving up to somewhere with a busted window, but you still have this confidence as if you are a multi-million-dollar, business owner.
How I always want to present myself is very transparent, very honest, and I am who I am. And So had this been the first time ever, like, I don't know how I would have handled myself, but I've been in situations before where your back is against the wall. I mean, you know, I'm in my house during Hurricane Katrina. The water is coming up to the ceiling. Like, you know, what do? Do you panic, or do you got to do what you got to do to make it out your house and get out alive? Mm-hmm. Or you're sitting here at basketball practice in college and you're doing all this running and sprinting and you're tired and or you got some paper that you need finished at, you know, turned in at the final hour or the final minute or whatever. So I just looked at this as another thing. And then I just believed that all this was signs leading up to what it is that you really want. So, yeah, it's bad news. Your car get broken into, you know, your parts are stolen and stuff like that. But do you sit here and mope about it, or do you put it in your mind like, okay, I'm getting ready to go to an open house to meet some people that can change your life? Mm-hmm. And this is just another wrench or an obstacle that you got to overcome to get to where you really want to go. And yeah, so when I get there, you know, had they asked me, hey, Quincy, you know, what's going on in the last hour or two, then I would have mentioned, yeah, my car got broken into, whatever. But they didn't ask any of that questions. It wasn't even really too many business questions. I think it was more so a testament to what's my personality like. You know, this guy actually showed up when, you know, this is just an open house. He's helping us carry boxes around. Like, you know, he's working his way around the room and talking to a lot of people. And is this somebody that we want in our space, because it's our space that we're renting out to him, but he's a representation of us. And I think, you know, well, I don't want to say I know I left a very, you know, great impression on them for them to extend the offer, because, you know, there were other people that was inquiring about that location too.
So it's way deeper than just, oh, I want this location for this business. It's like, yo, what's this dude's character like before we even talk about anything?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I believe, because, I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure they told other people about the open house, but I think I was the only one that was really inquiring about the area. And it's not like I'm just meeting one person and then they have to go through a whole, you know, group of people. Like the whole group is right there. So, you know, hey, yeah, I remember this guy when he came in, or I remember him too. It's not like, hey, well, this one guy came in, let me tell you about him, and then, you know, now this other person got to form an opinion. It's just like, hey, collectively, this is what we feel about him. This is his business plan. He seemed organized. He's on time. He's enthusiastic about it. So let's you know, take this chance on him.
Dang. And then ever since then, man, things have just gone up and up and up.
Yeah, honestly, man, I'm telling you, this is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, and this year alone has been, you know, super great, because also leading up to January of this year, business really wasn't going that great from October until December. It's like, you know, some of my slowest months in a while and everything. So that's why, like, you know, I felt like, you know, you hit your lowest point before you really hit that rise, because, you know, like I said, I'm putting everything I had into it, from savings to, you know, not going on trips and, you know, not spending money crazy. You know, it's just, I got this location. I need to make sure that I put my focus, my all into it, because what I put into it is what I'm going to receive back, you know, plus more. So that was just my whole thought process that whole time.
That's deep, man. And so ever since then, man, time was going on, and now, you know, you said you made some other moves, some other investments, and, you know, when we was talking, I'm like, okay, I see you, man. Like that's what's up. So you ended up, you're a partner in the studio, right?
Yeah, so I'm partnering in the studio. That deal just went into effect July 1st, and it's with a buddy, a teammate of mine from college. It's more like a brother. I mean, we have a great relationship, and so yeah, that went into effect July 1st, and I mean, it's been working out very well. Okay, so
what does that look like? I want to depict this and illustrate this for everybody listening, you know, because this is entrepreneurship, right? A lot of times I think people forget that just because somebody has a business, I mean, most of the times if they're smart, they have, you know, 2, 3, 4 other investments making money for them as well. So I really like what you're doing, and that's why I want to bring you back on to illustrate to people and show people that you can have a business, but, you know, have other ventures going on as well.
Right. So what I could do to help illustrate it is give you a backdrop of it, pretty much a timetable leading up to it now. The type of person that I am is I'm not a money person. Yes, we need money to, provide for ourselves, have a roof over our head, eating, and all those things. That's very understandable. But I don't make moves thinking that, okay, this is going to bring me back $1 million or 500,000 and whatnot. But so this teammate of mine from college, we met freshman year, and just really clicked as far as personalities, hanging out, having a good time and stuff. And we're just having a conversation. And he's playing music, and he's telling me that he made beats and, rapped a little bit and stuff. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. We're here at Grambling State. Everybody wants to do music. Why not just, charge people by the hour, make a few dollars on the side, and it's something that you really enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. So I get into rapping a little bit with him, but it wasn't to get known or anything like that. It was really to help him hone his skills. And plus, keep us out of trouble. We're in the dorms, rapping. We ain't sitting there, running the streets or getting in trouble in school and stuff like that. So fast forward to about 2013, 2014, he's getting ready to graduate college. And by this time, he has pretty much a little studio in his dorm, and he's charging people and making, some money and stuff. And I already have my cell phone business going on. And he trusted me. He will always call me hey, what do you think about this? Or what suggestions do you have, when it comes to me starting my business or website or social media? And I would just really just give him all these nuggets for free. It's the homie. I would joke around with him and tell him, hey, you keep asking me for questions or whatever, I'm going to charge you $25 next time. But it was just joking. But right. Just to see just to see his growth, and then for him to turn his mom's shed into a mini studio, and then the next place he lived at, he turned the roof into a studio. Until last year, he decided to get a room in the Artist Factory, which is in between Northside and Howard Mill. So I saw his progression that he was making, and of course, our relationship is still a brotherhood and stuff. And then he started having talks about expansion. And so, I would just joke around, hey, when you're ready, let me know. I invest into it, blase. And till maybe around March of this year, those conversations really started heating up. And he, told me that he was ready to expand into a second room. And he presented me with the opportunity to invest in exchange for a percentage of the business. And I initially thought that it was going to be just for the second room, but it included the A room and the B room. And so, yeah, I really like to be involved in it. I like music. And we signed the paperwork in June. Everything went into effect in July. And so now, we're not just brothers, we're business partners. Right. And I think it's one that stood the test of time, because, we had times that we fell out before, but ever since then, everything's been A1. So, and I'm giving you all these nuggets for free. Now it's a few dollars is added to it. So it's no need for me to trip, because I would have tripped whenever I was giving you, this knowledge for free.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when you went in with, on the studio, is the studio for him to make beats and make money, or is it for other people to come in and make beats? Is it for other people to come in and record? What is the whole purpose of the studio and stuff like that?
Okay, so the studio is for people to come in and, of course, record music. We also, you can book studio time. So if you're a beat maker, yeah, you can come in, you can make beats. It's pretty much, we have equipment in there, and we open it up to the public to book sessions, to come in and do whatever it is you need to do. If you're an artist and you don't have an engineer that can record you, we have engineers that will record you. We also offer mix and mastering services. We also sell beats. And moving forward, we're going to incorporate a podcast segment, so we can provide a spotlight on, up and coming artists. We want to try to shift into maybe possibly doing a label if it makes sense. and then bringing people who are writers and stuff, and just anything dealing with music or sound that would help the quality, like sounds better and have people comfortable to come in and just, enjoy the vibes.
Dang, man, that's what's up. And it's been open since July 1st, or?
Well, the studio A room has been open since mid-July. We kind of missed that July 1st opening point, but yeah, since mid-July it's been open. And I'll go ahead and plug in the website. It's promixglobal.com. You can go there and you can check out, songs that has been mixed and mastered, beats that's on there. You can, book studio time and stuff. And yeah, man, it's been great. But the B room has been open for about a year and a half now. So
okay,
yeah, everything's been moving well.
Okay. And what is some advice to people who may be thinking about going into business with a close friend or family member?
Now that is very tough. I've seen both sides of the fence. Like I said, with my buddy, the reason why I was okay with going into business with him is because I had already known the in and outs of the paperwork, because I had a big hand in providing him with the paperwork that he uses whenever he does his business dealings. And then also, like I said, it hasn't been about the money. I spent years, giving you advice and everything. So I was very comfortable with doing that deal, because like I said, if it was about the money, then years ago I would have fell out like, hey, why aren't you paying me? Mm-hmm. When it comes to and then when it comes to family, it's just, you just have to know if that feeling is genuine or not. I make deals off of if it makes sense, if it's going to help everybody, if everybody brings something to the table. My first initial reaction isn't, okay, how much is my percentage going to be, or how much am I getting paid? When am I getting paid? Because all businesses take time to grow, and you got to nourish it for it to flourish. And that's just my biggest advice I can give to you, is really don't go into for the money and just expecting things to blow overnight.
Mm-hmm. So don't have too high expectations in the beginning.
I wouldn't have too high expectations on a monetary side. Mm-hmm. But as far as like expectations of where you wanted to get, like goal wise, like, okay, I wanted to be the number one business in this field, or I want to reach this market. Like, yeah, those are great expectations to have. But as far as like, okay, I'm about to put in, $5,000, and then in 2 weeks I'm gonna get $25,000. Like, those aren't the expectations that I would really say to have, because it takes time for you to recoup your investment, and then also to see like a growth in sales and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, absolutely. And then when you're dealing with, do you think that dealing with close friends in business, close friends and or family, makes you more vulnerable or susceptible to downfall?
In a way, yeah, because it's kind of like, it's a fine line of dealing with people that's on the same level as you, and also dealing with people that you want to bring up. So if you're going into a partnership, and let's say you want it to be an even playing field of, let's just keep it simple, a 50-50 partnership where all the expenses is 50%, you pay half, and then all the profit you split in half. Now, if you want to do that, then you need to make sure the other person or persons involved is bringing that to the table, because that cuts away with, okay, well, you're not holding your end of the bargain, or you're not bringing in enough. And if you want to do a deal with somebody who you really bring more to the table, but you're trying to help them come up, well, then, make sure you have a bigger controlling interest, i.e., like, you own 75% of it and the other person owns 25%. And then once they really start meeting the level that you're at, then, you can readjust the percentage to where, it's an even playing field around. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's tough because, friends and family kind of take things for granted. Okay, well, I don't need to be on time for this, or I know how Quincy is going to react to this, or I can give Quincy this excuse, and then, everything will be fine. Or Quincy can look at it and be like, well, Bob, he'll be all right. Those are the biggest factors when it comes to dealing with friends and family in a business, because sometimes time or the business respect isn't all the way there, because they're looking at the type of relationship that you have outside of business.
Right. So they're not able to separate the two.
Yeah, because if you're getting ready, let's say with the studio, okay, we have this way of doing business where everybody's late or the communication is terrible, but then Apple Music want to come talk to us about such and such. Well, why are you going to be on time for Apple Music whenever you can't be on time for your own business that you own? You know what I'm saying? With your friends, like, that really disrupts a lot of things, and it shows where your real intentions are, because obviously you don't care about your friends and stuff like that. You care about pleasing Apple Music. Well, really, what you going to do when this big deal comes in and even more money is like thrown into the equation? Like, how are you just going to become more of what you already are? Like, it's just inevitable. That's why a lot of people fail. Instead of being patient and staying true to what the goal is.
Right. And while all this is happening, man, you did something the first time this year that's pretty dope, man.
Okay.
You told. Go ahead.
I said, which one are you leading to?
You were talking about the scholarship you got popping off over here.
Yeah, so I presented a scholarship on behalf of my company, Imprint Customs, to a graduating male basketball player from my high school. And honestly, I mean, that's really the one thing that I'm most proud of is going back and helping somebody from my hometown that graduated from my school. So yeah, it was real cool. Over the past few years, I've always wanted to do something that was going to give back to the community. And last year, I'm talking to, one of my good friends who's also my personal accountant, just like, man, hey, I'm tired of just talking about things. I'm tired of hearing people talking about that they want to do something. Like, it's really time to put forth an action towards making, something happen. Mm-hmm. So it was around August. I gave a call to the office at my high school. I told them, hey, I wanted to present offer a scholarship to a graduating male basketball player that exemplifies leadership, courage, knows what they want to do in life, i.e. goal oriented, and then also makes great grades and help out the community. So making that phone call instantly held me accountable, because now I got to follow through with what it is I said I wanted to do, and kept track with the people throughout the year. It was unanimous. Like, they didn't even know, the players didn't know that the scholarship was coming from me. And so in May, I took a trip back home to present the scholarship to the guy at the award ceremony, and everything was just real dope. There's no other feeling like that, knowing that, you helping somebody else achieve their goals. And so it's a yearly thing, and I'm ready, to give it to the next person.
Right. That's dope, man. And I think that a lot of people lose sight of, that's what it's really about, is giving back in the end. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about all that other stuff. It's really about, you're doing this because you want to be able to help people who maybe can't get that, or who are younger, who are helpless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, every time I would go home, one of the places that you can catch me at is the gym, is going to go sit in on a practice or just anything like that. And a lot of the guys would, come up and be like, hey, I see you on Instagram doing so-and-so phone, or, you live in Atlanta, businesses, looks cool and stuff like that. And it really hits you that, people are paying attention, and you might not notice it while you're in the flow of doing it. It's just like, hey, I'm about to go fix such and such phone, and I just want to do a great job, and hopefully it increase business, and then, move on to the next customer. But to these kids, it's just wow, this guy went to school here, he played basketball here, he played college basketball. He's dealing with this person, that person. Like it's like, you know, I don't want to put myself on that big of a pedestal, but to them, you know, it's somebody for them to look up to, and it's like almost like a myth. Like he's dealing with famous people, but then he comes and sit in on our practice and practice with us and talk to us.
Right.
And he's right here in front of us. So yeah, I was just like, man, let me just, you know, take this to the next level and really, you know, present something to them that they could hold on to and really appreciate, because like you say, you can make all this money and stuff, but what good is it doing if you holding on to it for yourself? Like, man, if I can go sit here and eat out at somewhere or take a trip somewhere, then I can take out, you know, $100, $150 a month, put that towards a scholarship, and just present that to, you know, a young man that's going to need the help to better himself.
Exactly, man. It's so much deeper than just us and the superficial, you know, immediate things that we get. It's so much deeper than that, man. It's that quote. It's deeper than the surface, man.
Yeah. Oh man, for sure. You know, and like I said, I mean, I knew it would have an impact. I knew it'd be something I'd be proud of, but just when you're in that moment, like presenting it, and then like, you know, the feedback that you're getting from this room full of people who has no idea. I mean, you know, they're asking me how old I am, when did I graduate? Because, you know, it's a lot of people who are older, like 50 plus, that, you know, that was offering scholarships on behalf of a company that they work for or something. And here I am, you know, I'm 28 years old, offering us, you know, presenting a scholarship on behalf of my own business, a foundation that I'm creating. And I'm just 10 years removed from high school. So, yeah, like afterwards, I mean, it's just a lot of people just coming up, congratulating. And like I said, I mean, that's just the greatest feeling I ever had, because, you know, it's not about me. It's about, you know, what I'm doing that can help other people. And I'll worry about myself later.
Right. See, that's the key right there. I'll worry about myself later, because at the end of the day, if you are helping people, you're always going to be good. That's called universal law.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you always going to be taken care of if you're focused on giving, because he who gives gets.
Very true.
You know what I mean? So
very true.
That's deep, man. That's super, super, super deep. But what's your other plans? Well, when I say other plans, like what's next for Quincy, for, you know, Quicy Hall, for Imprint Customs in the future?
Okay, so what's next for Imprint Customs is always exploring what makes sense. So to expound on that, I have a great team that's really, you know, molding themselves to be able to pick up the slack for the other person and improve without me having to be over their shoulders all the time. So with that being said, I mean, we're looking to expand. If another location comes up that makes sense, you know, not only financially, but also like location wise and stuff, then I feel very comfortable shifting one of my guys to that new location, and then, you know, starting that up and have it go. We're going to continue this scholarship. Going to try to, we're not going to try. Definitely going to increase the giving on it. There's no set amount on what it's going to be next year, but definitely going to keep that yearly. As far as the studio, I mean, we're always looking to expand on that. Maybe shift from renting from other people and getting our own building. So, you know, because like I said, sky's is the limit. And business wise, that's pretty much, you know, the things that I'm focusing on right now. As I mentioned earlier, I have another friend who's a personal accountant. He wants to, you know, take that leap into creating his own business and building up his clientele. So we're going to explore that towards the end of the year and find a location that makes sense for him. I help, you know, fund that to get him going on his feet, you know, in exchange for a percentage. And really, you know, watch him flourish. I really feel that he has what it takes to grow, and he wants to have that freedom to, you know, run his own business and really enjoy life. And so, you know, we're gonna look to make that happen.
Man, that's what I love about you, man, is enterprising. Like, you literally are going to have in another 3 to 5 years, 5, 6 different businesses spitting out, 10, 15K a month, and you're not even going to be there. And I think that that's so dope and important when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these things, is not just things that's happened overnight. I mean, all my closest friends and stuff, I mean, if you were just to speak on them and, just ask about like these ideas and stuff like that, or, things that's being put in motion, like, these seeds was planted like years ago. I mean, the studio partnership just happened in July, but that seed was planted, 10 years ago as a freshman in college. The phones, I mean, that seed was planted in 2011. The personal accountant, I mean, we've been friends since elementary school, and that's just now getting into the mold. So like these things, like, take time, take years. It's a lot of patience and stuff, but I mean, so many conversations, just over the months, over the years on what it is that, I want to do, who it is I wanted to be involved with. And it's just that, now all this stuff is starting to really just come together, in this year. And it's just crazy, man. Like, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of sacrificing. But, you just got to keep believing in what it is that you want to speak into existence. And when that opportunity presents itself, you got to recognize it and really take hold of it. And that was one of my things in the past. It's like, now these are per se businesses that's going into effect, but there's a lot of times before where I would do things off of the strength of okay, I'm going to take your word for it, and then things going to happen. And the next thing you know, like the opportunity slips. But then again, the opportunity might not have been the best. So that's the reason why it slipped and things didn't work out. But yeah, definitely now it's like being firm on things, seeing things through, and just doing it with the right people.
Oh, okay. Right. Man, that's so deep. Doing it with the right people. I was talking to a mentor not too long ago, and he kind of said and hinted on the same thing, because it's a lot of people who have, had bad experiences entrepreneurially, and that has made them not want to go further in entrepreneurship, but it's only because they were around the wrong people. If you get around the right people, they're going to, pour into you and make you feel good, and they're going to make you want to achieve more. But if you run into the wrong person, they're going to make you so bitter, and you're not ever going to want to go that route again.
Yeah. And I mean, love it. I love doing business because it's just so vast. Like, I mean, my mind is in a lot of places. It's not disorganized, but it's in a lot of places. And anything that I do business in is going to be something that I thoroughly enjoy. Like I said, it's not going to be money. It's going to be, man, I love doing this. I don't have to take out much time because my time is already going into these things. So it's just like, it just makes sense. And then another thing that I'm gonna touch on is like I enjoy traveling and like, taking pictures or like filming things and stuff. So something that I'm getting ready to launch by next week is a travel vlog on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And so we have the first video pretty much complete. That's going to be on a trip that we took to Dominican Republic, and then I have a second video of Cuba that's going to be posted in probably like 2 to 3 weeks. But I was just getting a big reception or feedback on like, man, your pictures look nice, or this trip look cool, it look dope, or whatever. And I was like, well, let me contact my person that does film editing. Let's make it look nice and really get organized and put it out there so people could just like look it up on YouTube. And you never know where that might go, because when you hit a certain amount of views, ads kick in and they give you a little kickback on how much they want to pay you and stuff like that. But that's just off of just pure like leisure and free time.
Mm-hmm. And enjoying your life and then sharing the beauties of life.
Yeah, and it's just really just to show people like hey, believe in what it is that you want to do, and then go out and do it. It's possible. Like I'm somebody from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, a place 98% of the population has never heard of. But, you know, I just stuck it out, and I knew what I wanted to do business-wise, and then, you know, all of those steps. And then, you know, here I am now in downtown Atlanta, you know, operating a couple of businesses and being able to travel and just enjoy life, you know, like anything.
Right. What's the name of that travel blog gonna be?
Quest Travels. So it's going to be QWEST Travels.
Got you. Well, check that out, man. You better have the name and the channel already up. Is it already up?
Yeah, so I got that created. Like I said, the first video is going to go up by the end of next week. And, yeah, man, I think it's going to be something super dope, like I said, you know, just because it's a lot of places I have on my list that I'm be traveling to, and like I said, I just want to share it with the people, and you know, that way you can check it out and see how things are and what I do like outside of business. You know?
Right, 100%, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate you, man, and I respect just the entrepreneur grind that you going through, and you doing, and you making stuff happen. You giving back, man. That's a lot of people don't give back. I'm telling you, a lot of people who claim that they making all this money, or they may be making all this money, they don't give back. So I just want to say, you know, salute to you, man. I appreciate it and I respect it, because a lot of people aren't doing it. But is there anything else that you want to say just to everybody listening?
I mean, just once again, you know, figure out what it is that you want to do. Make sure you love it. And then get ready to put in that, you know, that time into it and have patience. And it's definitely going to come back to you. You know, these aren't words that I'm just making up. I mean, anybody that you really look up that's successful and stuff, those are pretty much the same words that they use. And, you know, just believe in yourself. And, yeah, man, it'll happen.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate your time, Q, and everybody listening. We about to get off of this. Call. But, Q, how can they find you again? On, you know, social media or whatever?
All right. So on Instagram, Twitter, my name is Q Red Hall. It's QREDHALL. That's the business stuff. I have a personal Instagram that is QUE.Hall. And on Facebook, Quicy Hall. So everything's pretty universal, pretty easy to find.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, everybody listening, that is going to be today's episode. We're going to get off. We're going to talk to you later. But go chase your dreams, man. Follow your heart. Holla at you guys later.
For sure, man.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to the Starts with a Vision podcast. Come get your vision clear at www.startswithavision.com. See you there.